American President Donald Trump has assured Americans that he would make America great again. It depends how he interprets the very word great, but it seems that he wants to say that America would be turned into a hub of manufacturing. Now, the problem is that America used to manufacture on a massive scale during the First and Second World War, and even in the aftermath of Second World War, when it was contributing more than 25% to global GDP, and and it was in a position to manufacture on a massive scales because the European economy had shrunk by 18%, and in addition to that, Japan also stood in ruins. There were newly created states that needed investment. A number of countries had got freedom from France and the UK and other Western colonial powers, so they needed investment. This is when the United States stepped in and also captured their market. But it was primarily during the First and Second World War, and in the aftermath of Second World War, when Europe stood in ruins and it was destroyed, and its economy was in a terrible shape. And America could manufacture on a massive scale because it was catering to not only to local market, to American market, but to European market as well, there of Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and a number of newly created states as well. Now the question is, can the United States create or manufacture on a massive scale? Now definitely it cannot do that. China can do that. For instance, half of the electrical equipments are produced by China, although only 16.7% of its manpower is affiliated with manufacturing. In the same way, half of the 1.05 billion tons of steel that is produced globally, half of it is produced by China. China has its own local market, which is over a billion people, and naturally, United States does not have that big market. During 1945, and in the aftermath of Second World War, naturally, it must have been catering to more than 200 million population of its own, and then millions of people in Europe, in Japan, and other parts of the world. Now it cannot manufacture on that scale, and naturally you manufacturing can witness a boost when you manufacture on a massive scale. This is why China could produce cheaply. Why? Because it's producing on a massive scale. So producing on a massive scale is impossible. Then capital has its own movement. Wherever it gets profit, it will just move in the same direction. During the late 1970s and early 80s, it got a lot of profit in China, so it concentrated there. Then in our time, it is Bangladesh, Vietnam, India, and some other countries where it can find more profit, and it is concentrating there. During the decade of 1990s, in Indonesia, Malaysia, and other countries, it could find more profit, so it concentrated there. So naturally, if American manufacturer cannot get a lot of profit in America by shifting their manufacturing units or industrial units in that country, why should they bring at all? They would like to go to Bangladesh, they might want to go to Vietnam and other countries where they can make more profit. So that's one thing. Then the cost of doing business in the United States must be higher. Naturally, the American capitalist might have to pay, let's say, uh, $200 to a worker on average in the Bangladesh, or maybe $300. If they shift their manufacturing units to the United States, they might end up paying $3,000 on average to a worker, or maybe $2,500 to a worker on average. Then why should they pay such a huge salary, if they can get the same work done in 200 dollar? The same could be said about services industries. If a telephone operator, or if somebody working in the United States at a call center and drawing a salary of 3,000 or $4,000. And if the same work can be done in India for 200 or $300, why should any call center owner shift his industry or shift his call center to the United States, where in addition to these wages, he might have to pay insurance and other things. And then the cost of electricity and other industrial infrastructure is also high in the United States. Donald Trump did offer a very significant reduction in taxes last time when he was in power before this Trump zero point 0.2. During zero point 0.1, he did offer, but not many capitalists opted to shift their industries to the United States. So even if Donald Trump offers substantial tax reduction, even if he offers loan scheme and other incentives, he is not in a position to drastically reduce wages. He is not in a position to drastically reduce cost of doing business. And then it's very natural that if a capitalist can find 1 billion consumer in India and maybe 400 million in America, then his choice would be India, not that of United States. Or if he can find, or if he or she can find, more than 1 billion consumer in China, or so why would they shift their industry in the United States? So no matter how much uh, relaxation Donald Trump, offers to these capitalists, or no matter how many incentives are offered, it is very hard for these capitalists to switch their industries or shift their industries to the United States. So these are the factors. So America cannot become great in that sense, because naturally, if by great Donald Trump means that America should again become the hub of global manufacturing, that's not possible. If capitalists can make more money, if they can find more profit in India and China, or Bangladesh or Vietnam, then why would they be shifting their industries to the United States? So that's one factor. And of course, United States or the capitalists in United States cannot carry out production on a massive scale because they don't have a very big local market. It is big, but it's not as big as that of China or that of India. So that's why we see that not only American companies, but British, French, and other companies, they are also shifting or have shifted their manufacturing capacity or manufacturing unit to China, India, and other countries because they can find more profit. And it was the lucrative profit that prompted a number of American companies to shift their manufacturing units or their services or different section of their industries to China. It is claimed that since China joined WTO, World Trade Organization, more than 22,000 American industrial units or manufacturing units were shut down. So, if Donald Trump dream of making America great, he has every right to dream. But as far as ground realities are concerned, it's not possible for Donald Trump to make America great again, especially by that if he means that he could turn America into a manufacturing hub. That is very difficult because there is already overproduction of everything. He's already fighting with European powers because they can manufacture cars, they can manufacture a number of things, and they don't have to import from the United States the way they need it in the aftermath of First or Second World War. So it's very difficult for Donald Trump to make America uh, a manufacturing hub again. Therefore, it is difficult for him to make America great again.